Howdy, good morning everyone. We are doing another round of a bus stop constitution. I'm at my bus stop on the Goodfella. This is my book, my constitution. Howdy. Okay. Let's see. We were in the middle of section 8, which is outlining stuff that our laws can do. This is what Congress specifically can do. And Congress, as you may remember from my last little messy video, can provide and maintain a navy, make rules for the government and regulations of the land and naval forces, to provide for calling forth the militia to execute the laws of the Union, suppress insurrections and repel invasions, to provide for organizing, arming, and disciplining the militia, and for governing such part of them as they may be employed in the service of the United States, reserving to the states respectively the appointment of the officers, the authority of training the militia according to the discipline as prescribed by Congress, to exercise exclusive legislation in all cases whatsoever over such district not exceeding 10 square miles, as may, by secession of particular states and the acceptance of Congress, become the seat of the government of the United States, and to exercise like authority over all places purchased by the consent of the legislature of the states, in which the same shall be for the erection of forts, magazines, arsenals, dockyards, and other needful buildings, and to make all laws which shall be necessary and proper for carrying into the execution of the foregoing powers and all the other powers vested by this Constitution in the government of the United States or any department or officer thereof. Ooh. We're in section 9, you cool cats and kittens. And here we go. The migration or importation. This is my water bottle with a doggy. Woof, 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 woof. Okay. Now you can see me. Isn't that cute? Section 9. The migration or importation of such persons as any of the states now existing shall think proper to admit shall not be prohibited by the Congress prior to the year 1808. But a tax or duty may be imposed on such importation not exceeding $10 for each person. Okay. The privilege of the writ of habeas corpus shall not be suspended unless when in cases of rebellion or invasions of the public safety may require it. One of the best guys ever, Abraham Lincoln, suspended the writ of habeas corpus, which I was like, whoa! If I had been alive at the time, I would have been like, whoa! But also ending slavery, why would you want to enslave others unless you're a demon? Not sorry. No bill of attainder or ex post facto law shall be passed. No capitation? Yeah, I guess so. No capitation or other direct tax shall be laid, unless in proportion to the census or enumeration herein before directed to be taken. No tax or duty shall be laid on articles exported from any state. No preference shall be given by any regulation of commerce or revenue to the ports of one state over those of another, nor shall vessels bound to, sentative, or person holding of an office or trust or profit under the United States be appointed an elector. Oh yeah, because the founding fathers set our elections up to be pretty good. The electors shall meet in their respective states and vote by ballot for 2 persons, of whom one at least shall not be an inhabitant of the same state themselves. What? And they shall make a list of all persons voted for, and of the number of votes for each, which list they shall sign and certify and transmit sealed to the seat of the government of the United States, directed to the President of the Senate. The President of the Senate shall, in the presence of the Senate and House of Representatives, open all the certificates, and the votes shall then be counted. The person having the greatest number of votes shall be president, if such number be a majority of the whole number of electors appointed. If there be more than one who has such majority and have an equal number of votes, then the House of Representatives shall immediately choose by ballot one of them for president, and if no persons have the majority, then from the 5 highest on the list, the said House shall, in like manner, choose the president. But in choosing the president, the votes shall be taken by states, the representation from each state having 1 vote. A quorum for this purpose shall consist of a member or members from whom 2/3 of the state and a majority of all those states shall be necessary to a choice. In every case, after the choice of the president, the person having the greatest number of votes of electors shall be vice president. But if there should remain 2 or more who have equal votes, the Senate shall choose them by ballot, the vice president. He's the tiebreaker. She's the tiebreaker. Vice president of the Senate is the tiebreaker. The Congress may determine the time of choosing the electors and the day on which they shall give their votes, which day shall be the same throughout the United States. No person except a natural-born citizen or a citizen of the United States at the time of the adoption of this Constitution shall be eligible for the office of president. Neither shall any person be eligible to that office who have not attained the age of 35 years and been 14 years a resident within our nation, the United States. In case of the removal of the president from office, his death, resignation, or inability to discharge the powers and duties of said office, the same vote shall devolve on the vice president. So wait, if the president's not doing his job, we're supposed to remove him? Founding Fathers said so. In case of death, resignation, or inability to discharge the powers and duties of said office, the same shall devolve on the vice president. The Congress may by law provide for the case of removal, death, resignation, or inability, both of the president and vice president, declaring either of them, and in case of disagreement between them, with respect to the time of adjournment, he may adjourn them to such time as he think proper. He shall receive ambassadors and other public ministers. He shall take care that laws be faithfully executed, and shall commission all the officers of the United States. Wow. I think that means they have to do the thing that they said they'd do, which is hold the Constitution. Ooh, French fried. Section 4. The President, Vice President, and all civil officers of the United States shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, and other crimes and misdemeanors. You know what's bigger than a misdemeanor? 34 felonies. Article 3, Section 1. The judicial power of the United States shall be vested in 1 Supreme Court and in such inferior courts as the Congress may from time to time ordain or establish. The judges, both of the Supreme and inferior courts, shall hold their offices during good behavior and shall, at stated times, receive for their service a compensation which shall not be diminished during their continuance in office. Okay, so they can't get a pay cut, I think. Section 2. The judicial power shall extend to all cases in law and equity arising under this Constitution, the laws of the United States, and the treaties made or which shall be made in their authority. What is the time? I can't check on my phone. Oh, damn. I guess I better put my backpack on anyway. Should still have like another 5 minutes, another 10 minutes. Have a good day, bus driver. I love the bus driver. Okay, buddy? Okay. Go. Sorry, friends, minor distraction. We are Section 4, Article 3, Section 1. Okay, Article 3, Section 1. The judicial powers of the United States shall be vested in 1 Supreme Court, such inferior courts as the Congress may, from time to time, ordain and establish. The judges, both of the Supreme and inferior courts, shall hold their offices during good behavior and shall, at stated times, receive for their services a compensation, which shall not be diminished during their continuance in office. Section 2, Article 3. Article 3, Section 2. The judicial powers shall extend to all cases in law and equity arising under this Constitution, the laws of the United States, and treaties made or which shall be made under their authority, to all cases affecting ambassadors, other public ministers, and consuls, to all cases of admiralty and maritime jurisdiction, to controversies to which the United States shall be a party, to controversies between two or more states, or between a state and citizen of another state, between citizens of different states, between citizens of the same state claiming lands under grants of different states, and between a state or the citizens thereof and foreign states, citizens or subjects. So I really like this passage I just read because it denotes lots of different types of people who are here in the nation. It specifies citizens, people, subjects, citizens, subjects. So there are times when the Constitution points out when something applies to citizens, and I believe we're going to see times when it just points out people. Not all people are citizens. You're all my comrades, companions, compatriots. You're all my fellow man. But we're not all fellow citizens, which I must acknowledge. But I'm pretty sure even if you're not a citizen, even if you ain't got no papers, even if you're the demon seed of Davy Jones, you still get due process. But we're not at that point yet, so. In cases affecting ambassadors, other public ministers and consuls, and those which have state, and those in which a state shall be party, the Supreme Court shall have original jurisdiction. In all other cases before mentioned, the Supreme Court shall have an appellate jurisdiction, both as law and fact, with such exceptions and under such regulations as the Congress shall make. The trial of our crimes, except in cases of impeachment, shall be trial by jury, and such trial shall be held in a state where the said crime shall have been committed, but not when committed within any state, but when not committed within any state. The trial shall be in such a place or places as the Congress may by law have directed. Section 3. Treason against the United States shall consist only in leavening wars against them, against us, and adhering to the enemies or giving them aid and comfort. No person shall be convicted of treason unless on the testimony of two witnesses to the same overt act or on confession in open court. The Congress shall have the power to declare the punishment of treason, but no attainder of treason shall work corruption of blood or forfeiture except during the life of the person attainted. So we can be tried for treason, but two people need to see you doing whatever the treasonous thing is, or you can confess, and something, corruption of blood? Not sure. We need someone who knows more than I do. Article 4, Section 1. Full faith and credit shall be given in each state to the public acts, records, and judicial proceedings of every other state. The Congress may, by general law, prescribe the manner in which such acts, records, and proceedings shall be proved and the effect thereof. My Missouri marriage is legal in Alaska. I wish I knew how soon till bus time. It could be any minute. It could be no minute. My nose is itchy, y'all. It's springtime. Article 4, Section 1. Full faith and credit shall be given in each state to the public acts, records, and judicial proceedings of every other state, and the Congress may, by general laws, prescribe the manner in which such acts, records, and proceedings shall be proved and the effect thereof. Again, my Missouri marriage is seen in Hawaii. It's seen in Montana. Section 2. The citizens of each state shall be privileged to all privileges and immunities of citizens in the several states. A person charged in any state with treason, felony, or other crime who shall flee from justice and be found in another state shall, on demand of the executive authority of the state from which they fled, be delivered up to be removed to the state having jurisdiction of the crime. You're getting expedited shipped, baby! No person held to service or labor in one state under the laws thereof, escaping to another, shall, in consequence of any law or regulation therein, be discharged from service or labor, but shall be delivered upon claim of the party to whom such service or labor may be due. I think that's the slave part, which is not good. I mean, now we apply it to like incarcerated folks, people with criminal records, but Like, I know there's gotta be some kind of rule of law, punishment, justice, all that jazz, and there's some people that I believe need put away forever, but I don't think what we've done now is really serving any of us except like a few super duper rich people. I'd rather my people be treated like people even when they've done something bad. We could talk about degrees of badness and at which point you have traded your humanity, but that's not what we're doing here. We're saying y'all get humanity. Oh, no, that's not what we're saying here. We're saying here we're going to give you back if we find you after you've escaped. Section 3. New states may be admitted by the Congress into this union, but no new state shall be formed or erected within the jurisdiction of any other state, nor any states be formed by the junction of two or more states or parts of states without the consent of the legislatures of the states concerned as well as the Congress. So everyone's got to agree that they want to come together. The Congress shall have the power to dispose of and make all needful rules and regulations respecting the territory or other properties belonging to the United States. Nothing in this Constitution shall be so constructed as to prejudice any claims of the United States or any particular state. Section 4. The United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a republican form of government and shall protect each of them against invasion and on application of the legislature or of the executed when the legislature cannot be convened against domestic violence. Article 5. The Congress, whenever 2/3 of both houses shall deem it necessary, shall propose amendments to the Constitution, or on the application of the legislatures of 2/3 of the several states shall convene a convention for proposing amendments, in which either case shall be valid to all intents and purposes as part of this Constitution when ratified by the legislatures of 3/4 of the several states, or by conventions in 3/4 thereof, as one of the other modes of ratification may be proposed by Congress, provided that no amendment which may be made prior to year 1808. I wonder why that year is important. Year 1808 shall in any manner affect the first and fourth clauses in the 9th section of the first article, and that no state without its consent shall be deprived of its equal suffrage in the Senate. There we go. I think that's all I'm gonna read for today. My bus isn't here yet, but my brain is tired. So, do some self-care. Make sure you feed yourself. Your blood sugar is linked to your mood. They call it hangry, which is a really fun term. But long story short, you gotta eat, at least a little bit. Eat some food, drink some water. If you can sleep, get some sleep. Check the news once a day and no more. Keep your peace. Keep fighting the good fight. Keep knowing your rights. I'm just some stranger. I'm just some white asshole over on the internet, but I'm in your corner. If you're gonna be kind to others, I'll be kind to you. Rock and roll, my babies.